this is just a benefit I had of like getting on social in 18 and just like following all these people. You could have access to some people who, you know, have huge brands today, like people like Gary Vee, for example. I remember seeing an Instagram story and he was like, man, I just came out with my latest K-Swiss sneaker. Mm-hmm. If you buy X number of them, you can come hang out with me in my office. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll fucking buy that, you know? It's like $5,000 worth of K-Swiss, which I donated to a kid's school because I didn't want them.
Right.
And then I got to go hang out at his office. And that was the first time I met him in like 2018 or 19. And I was like, Gary, I'm in the mortgage industry. It's super boring. What kind of content can I create? He's like, financial fitness. People love the tips, the tricks, the hacks. It doesn't, like, why is Cindy, what's her name? Susie Orman. What's the old dude? Who's super rich, the freaking guy, Dave Ramsey.
One? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, like these guys give out the financial hacks.
Right.
It's a big thing. Like people want to get their money right. They want to learn about, what do you know about investing and mortgage and real estate? Like put those tips out there and present them in the right way. That's your ticket. Don't just talk about like the latest program. So that type of content, everybody's interested in. I think that can bring more people in your tent. It's not polarizing at all, but you deliver it in your way.
It's your style. Sure.
So like my style is different than your style, which is different than somebody else. So I think people can eventually tell this dude's for real. Mm-hmm. So your delivery style. And then the other type of content I found that works really well to get business and speak to your people is two ways. One way is proving competence. So what can you post that would prove you're competent? Success stories, client reviews, testimonials, your take on the news. What's an industry practice that you stand against? Dude, I hate that the people in my industry do this.
Yeah.
That's kind of polarizing. But at the same time, it separates you from all your competitors.
Yeah.
Right? The industry takes a standardized approach. My team and I, we go deeper with each person to find a custom solution. So in this world of tech and push button, get house and all that type of shit, it's not like that. We do this. So now you've separated yourself, right? So that's a way to prove competence. You know, like all these questions you can talk about on social that would just show you know your shit. Take a news article and apply it to the consumer. Like make it simple. That shows like, dude, you know your stuff. You're on top of it. So that to me has generated the most amount of business. And then the second part is like what you just said. How do you repel the people that you don't want to work with and attract your tribe? That's where you just show more of your personal life. For me,
Yeah.
like what are the things I'm into? What are the music what am I doing with my family?
Yeah.
Like what do you want people to know about you? And so when I started incorporating that, and a lot of people don't want to because they're like, dude, I don't want people to know this one thing about me. That's cheesy or like that's weird. But I just say it like this, dude, what are the things your friends and your family like love the most about you? Like what if you showed that on social? What are the odds that some other people might like that shit too?
Yep.
They might find your weird sense of humor funny, or they might find the fact that you like this cool.
It's the fear of the people that are going to hate it is why they won't put it out.
But those people just
really
hit the unfollow button.
Right.
So like for me, I'll have a piece of content go about, you get a bunch of new followers. Then
You lose some followers.
as I start posting stories, I literally see it go down.
Yeah.
They're leaving. I'm like, fuck, you're leaving. Don't leave. Yeah, you don't know. But they just leave because they didn't like, dude, they're like, your story popped up and it was you, I don't know, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I don't want to follow this guy. And they unfollow. Cool.
Right.
Like just it's just a process. Like bring them in and then keep the ones that want to be there. The other ones leave.
Lose sight of the fact that content in general is there to build relationships and trust with people.
Yeah.
And
It's for conversations.
At the end of the day, you're always going to have a better relationship and have more trust with somebody with whom you share common interests or you have certain commonalities with, whether it's your sense of humor or a show that you're watching on Netflix or the restaurant that you like to go to or the type of beer that you drink or not drinking at all or, you know what I mean? Like whatever that thing is, there's quirks that all of us have about how we choose to live life, our personalities, everything about that. And it's really easy to get scared about the negative feedback that you're going to get and let that hold you down from the potential future positive feedback. Yeah. Because the negative feedback, in my experience, has always come first before the positive feedback. Like anytime I'm doing something that's not generic, that's not like, that's just more interesting or it's maybe a little bit edgy or it's showing a part of my sense of humor that maybe not everybody likes. Yeah. The negative feedback comes first because the algorithm's searching for the people that are going to like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of deal with some of the negativity in the meantime until it attracts more members of your tribe, and until those other people finally just fuck off and go follow somebody else's stuff.
It's huge. I mean? Yeah, it's like it's kind of divisive. Like if people don't, you want it to have a little bit of a debate. So there's people posting content trying to be polarizing. Like you shouldn't be trying that hard. Like you should just be showing, and maybe people don't vibe with it, or maybe they disagree with what you're saying. That's a healthy debate. That's cool. But like, I don't have to try. It's just like, share more of what you really think. Like, what's your thoughts on this topic? Share them honestly.
Right.
If that is kind of polarizing, that's cool. But I think when people try to do it, then it's like, you're just like attention hungry.
Yeah. I've had some friends who've tried to be polarizing, and then it inevitably takes them down this path of political polarity, and then they get sucked into these either right-wing or left-wing vortexes and then lose track of their entire mission. But they're like sacrificing their long-term brand for short-term views. You know, it's like, well, but it's working. It's getting a lot of views. It's like, well, that's not always the metric to decide whether or not it's working. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you should also be thinking about, is this the type of stuff that I want to be known for? Do I want this to be a part of my brand? Do I really want my most watched videos to be a strong stance on fill in the blank on this big political topic or this religious debate? It's like, do I really like,
especially if you're in marketing or you're in finance, like,
you're not trying to sell a book on religion, then maybe like, ease back a little bit, you know, like let your personality come through, but, or just make sure that you're asking yourself the question, I guess is my point of like, that video may have gotten more views than this video, but does that mean that we should go create a bunch more content like this video? Because ultimately, I don't want to be the next Ben Shapiro. You know what I mean? I still want to be a real estate expert. I still want to be looked at as a, you know, entrepreneurial figure. Yeah. I don't want to be this political talking head or like a pastor of a church or the next Richard Dawkins. You know what I mean? So like, you know, sometimes it's okay to let those things shine through, but always, you know, have some clarity around where am I headed with this.
And I like the fact that, you know, you talk about, hey, you got to put out content that, you know, teaches your expertise, you can help people with, but then at the same time, it's not like, so you're looking at your niche, what do you want to teach? What's the best way to do that? The most innovative way, the best way to keep attention with that. That's cool. But you're not like going into a topic just for the sake of views.
Yes,
you know
correct.
What I mean? That's where I think it goes wrong, because now like you're just playing a game of like, you know, whatever. It just doesn't serve you long term. And then it just like the audience isn't going to be quality. So I've noticed a lot of people have audiences. Some are worth more than others. So for me, the best part has been building a real community.